Good evening, everyone. Warm greetings to all respected principals, resource persons, research scholars, and dear participants joining from across India and abroad. At the very outset, I sincerely thank our chief patron, Professor Dr. Mallam Naveen, and our patron, Dr. B.V. Tirupaniam, for their constant support and motivation, and express my heartfelt gratitude to all the members of the organizing committee for their teamwork, energy, and dedication and support. Without taking much time, I would like to give a brief introduction of today's resource person, Dr. Shekha Makar. Dr. Shekha Makar is an educationist, researcher with over 17 years of academic experience in undergraduate and postgraduate teaching. She is currently serving as an assistant professor in the Department of Commerce, Ramlal Anand College, University of Delhi. In 2024, Madam was approved as a PhD research supervisor in the Department of Commerce, University of Delhi, guiding doctoral scholars under the Board of Research Studies and Research Advisory Committee. To expand her research horizons, she completed the prestigious Summer Faculty Research Fellow Program in 2025 at the Department of Management Studies, IIT Delhi. Her contribution includes publication in Scopus Index and UGC listed journals, research presentations at national and international conferences, and multiple Best Research Paper Awards at global forums. A commerce graduate and a scholarship awardee from Jesus and Mary College, she earned her M.Com from the University of Delhi and her PhD in organizational behavior on the topic measurement of spirituality and its impact on students and teachers. She has also contributed as co-author for EPG Patashala India modules in commerce, including management concept and organizational behavior, emotions and leadership, and introduction, human resource management, recruitment factors affecting recruitment. As an invited guest speaker, moderator, and resource person, Dr. Makar has conducted sessions for faculty development programs, BE schools, and academic institutions covering organizational behavior, HRM, spiritual leadership, mental health, and research methodologies. Her session will offer participants valuable insights into organizational behavior, HR practices, leadership, and the integration of spirituality and mental well-being in research and pedagogy. Madam's today's topic is how to write a research paper using qualitative methods. With this brief introduction, I would like to invite you, Madam. You are most welcome. The session is now yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you for introducing me to the audience. Before I begin, I just wanted to know what kind of audience do we have amongst us, with us, in terms of are they research scholars or at what stage of their research are they? Because that will help me give them, a valuable 1 hour sessions. I just, if you could, usually we have.
Most of them are faculty research scholars. Yes, ma'am. Most of them are faculty research scholars.
Okay. Actually, what happens is we have Q&A in the end by the time the session is over. So I just want to reverse the entire process in terms of asking me that, there have been quite a couple of days that everybody is learning about research. In terms of what exactly do you all understand? And, then I want to contribute in how to write a qualitative paper. So if I could just get some gist of, what each one of you is doing and would like to do, I think I will be able to contribute in a way more qualitative way rather than me starting with a session and, being repetitive in nature. So if just any one of you would want to tell me your research journey, I'll be able to contribute better. You could start by raise of hands or you can just unmute yourself and ask me.
Ma'am, I'm Shivangi Gandhi. I'm an independent research scholar and I'm working on my research proposal as of now.
Research proposal for your PhD, Shivangi?
PhD. Right,
Okay.
ma'am.
So for your PhD, are you?
I'm from Maitri, just your opposite college.
Okay. So you are an assistant professor there?
No, ma'am. Actually, I did my graduation from Maitri College.
Okay, you've done your graduation. You're doing or you've done?
Done, ma'am. I'm an independent research scholar right now, working on my proposal for my PhD admission.
For your PhD admission. So what are you, targeting at, Shivangi? Are you looking for quantitative methods or qualitative methods?
Qualitative methods, ma'am. Qualitative.
Okay. Okay. All right. So anything that you know about qualitative?
Ma'am, when I was preparing for my NET, what I could understand is qualitative method comprises of ethnographic, narrative analysis, content analysis. These are the
Yes.
type of qualitative research I'm aware of. But then there is a problem that I usually face is when it comes to social sciences or sciences, they have quantitative methods and they have a fixed rigorous method as to which statistics or which tests they have to apply. But when it comes to English literature, to be precise, usually what I've heard from my peers and people around is that the question that mostly troubles scholars is what methodology are we actually using when it comes to qualitative analysis, because we know what we are doing, we are actually analyzing content or
Right.
analyzing text, to be precise, and it can be any text, films or textbooks. But then even in that, what exactly we are doing in qualitative research, that is something I'm troubled with. Although I did dig up few of the books and I got hand of on a few of books to understand what really goes into qualitative method. So because when the interviewers, they usually ask what is your research methodology, and if you
Right.
end up saying that you are using qualitative research, then they ask you what qualitative research actually, like in that also, what exactly precisely are you trying to tell us? But then if you give them vague answers, thematic analysis or content analysis, this everybody knows. But what exactly, this is something I have been also trying to figure out, although I have a list of books, but I would love to know more, like when we deal with novels, what type of research actually we are doing in qualitative research also.
Okay, okay. Shivangi, since I am from commerce background, I really don't know, but how much I will be able to contribute to your end. But definitely, I'll tell you about what you should be answering in terms of the questions that are asked to you. Okay. So I
Right,
have
ma'am.
one thing, and anybody else. So it's really good that I'm getting to know what I'm expected to sort of explain, along with the limitations that I may have, since we are all from different backgrounds. It's interdisciplinary. Anybody else would like to share? Hmm. Sheila, I think you want to speak. Sheila
Good
Rani.
evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Good evening.
I'm Dhanlakshmi Rangarao. I'm a faculty and a research scholar. Um,
Okay.
I'm basically an English literature student and I had an interest for ELT, ma'am, and
Okay.
I have completed the MPhil research also with the ELT. I'm extending my research from the same idea where I did my MPhil.
Okay.
Earlier, it was about the academic writing, introducing academic writing in the curriculum. That was
Hmm.
my idea. Now
Okay.
I am going diving deep into that. Having an idea. How could I bring the performance based learning? It is not the PBL in general, ma'am, but
Mhm.
through performances
Hmm.
based learning in the classrooms. So how can I hone the academic skills? So that is where my research is now. Ma'am, I would be
Okay.
happy if you could suggest me um, books that is related to academic writing in aligning with the theater studies, ma'am. So that will be a great help for me to find my primary source or to build on my primary sources.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else?
Good
Anybody
evening,
else?
ma'am. This is Hina.
Okay. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Ma'am, I have just enrolled in PhD course. So right now I am doing my coursework, and right now I am in the literature review phase. Earlier
Okay.
I thought of an author, but due to some reasons I'm changing my topic. So I'm but vague of the material right now. But yeah,
Okay.
I'm into Indian writings and in English literature. So
Okay.
I'm very new to everything. So for me, each and everything, whatever till now happened, is of great knowledge. So
Okay.
looking forward to everything.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sure. I mean, the kind of this entire program has been organized. It's like an ocean, and whatever pearls you can take from it, is yours. It's like that. That's the way organizers have, organized this entire session. So hats off to the organizers for that. Really.
Agree, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, I'm Immaculate, ma'am. I'm a faculty and a research scholar. I just want to know, we will have 2 DC meetings, right, ma'am, while presenting for a PhD.
Okay.
Undergoing the process, we are having 2 DC meetings. I just
Okay.
want to know what are the phases that has to be divided for first DC meeting and second DC meeting. Like, what are the content restrictions that has to be delivered? Like, which part we have to tell for first DC, and what else to be presented for the second DC? Is it possible, ma'am, for you to?
So what university are you enrolled with?
Ma'am, University, Bharatiya University, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Okay, since different universities, have different requirements, so I was just asking.
Just a overall borderline information is enough. I could catch up and I'll follow, ma'am.
Okay, okay, all right. Thank you. Yeah. Anybody else? Anyone else? Good evening.
I'm Kartika from Kalsalingam University, ma'am.
Okay. Please go ahead.
Actually, I have the doubt in incorporating the secondary sources in research paper writing or in thesis writing. How to incorporate the secondary sources? Is it necessary for 1 or 2 works alone, or should we include more secondary sources in our research papers, or which will be good? So I just want to get some idea from that, ma'am.
What's your topic?
What, ma'am?
What's your topic?
My topic is psychological perspectives, ma'am.
Okay. Monica, could you please mute yourself? Monica? Yeah. Okay. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else would like to ask?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Myself, Kalpana. I'm pursuing my PhD. So I'm working, I want to work on the fiction. So I choose one author and only one author. I choose all the 6 novels. Is it enough to do the PhD in one author, 6 novels?
That will be too much restricted in terms of, I would say at least 2 to 3 authors is what I would recommend. Okay. One will make it too restricted.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. Anybody else? Any other question? Okay. So
yeah, ma'am. Good evening.
Okay. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Yeah, ma'am. Maybe good to update us on the qualitative method in general first.
Okay.
And then would go with the personal requirements as and when it is arising. Like.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. So let me just tell you a brief about my background so that you understand that, how much I'll be able to contribute, since it's a multidisciplinary engagement that we have today. So I'm from the commerce background, and in commerce or in the field of management, we usually use secondary sources. So secondary sources in terms of softwares and in terms of data. Data can be from the stock exchange, data can be financial data, companies, profitable, profits data. So that's the kind of data commerce or management people usually work on. Having said that, we also work on something called as primary data, which I think most of you sort of work on. So primary data is something in terms of, developing a questionnaire. And that's exactly what I did in my PhD. So I will just take you through the entire process of how a questionnaire is developed. And then I will take you to the the qualitative part of that. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give you a flair of what is a quantitative method and how do I qualitatively how do I make it into a qualitative data? So I'll be giving you a brief of comparison of both, and then maybe we could, as madam just said, that we could take some questions further. I will also show you various research papers which have used qualitative data, and what kind of what is the methodology that I have been using in my research papers. So just to begin with, in terms of, since some of you are wanting to start with your PhD, what I did in my PhD was I had developed a questionnaire. So you understand the meaning of questionnaire when I say that it's a scale. So a scale is developed, and the scale development is through a process of developing a questionnaire. So there are two ways in which a questionnaire can be developed. One way in which a questionnaire can be used for your study is that supposing there is a scale which has already been built. So my area of studies of education was spirituality measurement scale. That's what I developed. And it's being used by various IITs and various organizations for conducting spirituality measurement in their institutions, in their organizations. So I had two choices as a research scholar, and you will always have choices, and you'll always be confused, in terms of decisions that you want to take. So I had two choices when I was, starting with my study. One was very easy choice, that there are many foreign authors who have already developed scales related to spirituality. So what I had to do was that I had to just take up their I had to just sort of take their scale, download their scale, take permission to use their scale. And once I have taken that permission, I can adapt it. I can maybe, change a little bit of language that, they have already established and developed. And I can, use that questionnaire in terms of developing, in terms of collecting data from my respondents, and whatever results will come, I will sort of present those results in my study. So that was one way, and this was a very easy way. And typically most of the students who want to do some kind of primary data collection, they usually adapt the scales or use the scales as it is. This is an easy way which can be taken. However, there's another way. Another way is that why do I have to take a foreign scale? Why do I have to take scale from somewhere else? Why can I not develop it myself? Which was a tough way, which would take more time, which would be really rigorous, which will require a lot of, a lot of thinking, a lot of working and reworking in terms of development of a scale. And I decided to take up a tough path, and I wanted to, sort of develop my own scale. So what I did in that entire process of developing my scale was that you have to, so I decided that I'll develop my own scale. So how did I do that entire process? Of course, since some of you were mentioning that, literature review is the most underrated thing, but it is the most essential thing. If you haven't studied well, because today, when I did my PhD, of course, there wasn't AI, and, things weren't so easy. And that was a blessing for us, I would say, that things weren't easy, because we used to actually read. We didn't have a choice. We didn't have a choice of somebody giving us, an AI mein dala or aa gaye papers, and, we just sort of put them. So I think less of learning is happening right now, because everything is ready-made for us. And at the time when I was doing my PhD, of course, nothing was ready-made. So I had to download papers. It's your convenience. I took printouts of whatever I could, and I sort of studied them, that how they have developed it, what's the process that they followed. So literature review is extremely, extremely important. If you are not reading good quality papers, you will not come out with good research work. Trust me on that. Aap kitna bhi AI use kar lo, kitna bhi software use kar lo, your knowledge will speak when someday you have to tell about your PhD. So that time, because if you have used all AI, you will not be able to explain what you have done. So I'll tell you the qualitative part in when I was doing my PhD. So now I have to develop a scale related to spirituality. So which means there will be a lot of questions related to that. So what I basically did was I took up some experts. I made a list of about 30 experts with my PhD supervisor, with my PhD guide, that who are the people who can whom I can ask questions related to spirituality. So what we together decided was that there has to be a lot of heterogeneity in the data. that we have in terms of our respondents. So I had students, I had teachers, I had practitioners, I had organizations which are, teaching spirituality. So people from every sphere. I had people from the corporate, I had young children, I had old people who do not understand the theory part of it, but are into daily practice of spirituality. So almost every sphere, my target was that every age group should be covered. So that somebody was asking, now why I did this exercise of asking you questions was so that I can incorporate, some kind of solution. So somebody said that is one author enough for certain novels, just one question that came across. So if there is not enough heterogeneity in your data, you cannot generalize your study. Generalization means whenever you are making some kind of a conclusion in the end, is it applicable to some general audience or not? So it has its own pros and cons. If it is applicable to general audience, then people can use your research in their studies. But if it is not generally applicable, then your study will not be much used to a large group of audience. It will be useful, but for a very limited audience. So what is the purpose? Why am I doing PhD? What is the requirement? What is the reason of my doing PhD? So if it's a very common question. Somebody was asking about interview questions. The most common question that is asked in interviews is, why are you doing a PhD? And how are you going to answer that? So the most important thing that any researcher is doing while they are doing any kind of research work is, and you can write this statement down if you're listening to me, you are adding to the existing body of knowledge. It's not a research paper that you're publishing. Of course, you're doing that, but that's not the end goal. It's not a PhD that you're getting. That's not the end goal. It's not the points that you're getting. That's not the end goal. The end goal has to be that I am adding to the existing body of knowledge. If I am not adding to the existing body of knowledge, my PhD, my research work, my publications is of no use to the academia. If my research paper is meant to just get some points and it's not contributing to people at large, just like we read other people's work, if other people are not going to read my work, then my PhD is just for me. It's a very selfish PhD then. Let me just put it that way. So it's extremely important that whatever I'm doing, somebody should use it. It should be a chain. Hum use karte hain na? We use other people's work. We use other people's research, whatever they have done. So if other people are not able to use mine, then it's a useless exercise. I mean, in terms of you've just got a degree. So yeah, there are many people who are, you'll see across in your field, who have a degree, but do they have knowledge? Are they able to transfer that knowledge? That's extremely important. That shows your quality in the long run, right? So you are adding to the existing body of knowledge, and I really wanted to do that. I did not want to copy paste from other people's research and just get a degree, and that's the primary reason why I sort of took up developing of my own scale. So it's about spirituality. And how did I start? Like I just told you, I took up 30 heterogeneous experts, and I sent them some questions, research questions related to my topic. So now this is a very important part of a qualitative study. You need to develop research questions for your study. Research questions, you can take it in the reverse way also. Research questions are the answers that you are, of course, those questions you will get answers from them, right? So those answers are going to be the contribution of your study. So what is it that you want to contribute from your study? So now it's always back and forth. So whatever you want to contribute as part of your study, as part of your research, that becomes, so in a turnaround, that becomes your research questions. So research questions you need to have about, depending upon what kind of research you are doing. On an average, we develop 10 to 12 research questions. Then they are shown to, a list of experts. And once they are shown to a list of experts, on the basis of iterations, on the basis of further discussion, you can typically, there are 4 to 5 research questions that we sort of come down to. in any kind of qualitative research that we do. And then those questions are asked to various experts, or whoever your sample or whoever your audience are, whom you want to ask those set of research questions. So that's exactly what I did. I asked them, and in response I got long paragraphs. So it was a subjective, it's open-ended. So at that time when I was doing my PhD, there were no tools that I used for qualitative study. Having said that, can we do a qualitative study without using tools? Yes, we can. But it's the rigor that matters. So we need to have a lot of rigor in what we are doing. As long as we are justifying it, we can go ahead and do a qualitative study without using any software, so-called softwares. So I now have, so let me just cut it short for you. I now have 30 responses, qualitative responses, long paragraphs, a few pages, because there were 5 questions that I asked. Once I got all those responses from them, now what I have to do is, sorry, I have a bad throat, please excuse me for that. So those responses, for every question, now I have 30 responses. Question 1, 30 responses. Question 2, 30 responses. So what am I going to do? I am going to now collect for every question, whatever has been the responses, I need to collect them below question number 1. Then below question number 2, 30 responses. Below question number 3, 30 responses, and so on. So again, it's a slow process. It's a tedious process. So then after that, I have to cut them into short paragraphs. So now supposing, let's assume my first question, 30 respondents, runs into some 35 pages approximately. So now 35 pages is not what's going to go in my PhD research, right? So what am I going to do? I'm going to convert them now in my own words. Now this is where the scholars, expertise or wisdom will come in place. That's all I can say in this particular case, because you have to be very careful in terms of what you're doing. Then those get shortened to short paragraphs. Then they get shortened to small lines. And then it gets further fine-tuned into some small phrases, like you see, certain questions in a questionnaire. And that's how I completed my qualitative part of my study, from asking certain research questions, getting long answers to them, and then converting them into a questionnaire. Of course, you all know we do content analysis and face analysis, face validity. All of that was done. Pilot study was done, and then I extended it. So my qualitative part of my research, so-called, ended with my development of my questionnaire. And then, of course, I am from a commerce background, so I had to quantify my study. That was very important for me. I had to quantify my study. And while I was quantifying it, then further I developed, certain questions, and I asked them from 400 was my, approximately 400 was my respondents. And that's how I completed my entire development of my spirituality measurement scale. So this is one way of doing your research. Another is purely qualitative. For that, I would like to show you one paper to, exactly sort of give you a gist in terms of how a qualitative paper looks like. So I would want to share my screen for that. Just give me a moment. Yeah. Is my screen visible to you all? Could anybody confirm?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It is visible.
Okay, it's visible, and let me just scroll it down so you can see this, the paper.
Journal of Business Research.
Yeah, so I'm scrolling it. Can you see the pages moving up?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
yes,
all right. Thank you so much. So let's just have a look at this qualitative paper. The qualitative paper says, my colleagues do not think the same. Middle managers shared and separate realities in strategy implementation. It's not got nothing to do with the topic, but just trying to, Yes.
Please maximize it, ma'am. Please maximize it.
Is it better now?
No, ma'am. Still, it's under process. Yeah.
Yes. All good now?
Yes, ma'am. It went aside, ma'am. And
It
try
went-
to bring that one into middle.
Okay. Okay. Just let me try again. Now, how is it now?
No, ma'am. It's minimized. Yeah, it's fine.
Is it fine now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. All right. So let me just. What do you see typically? I'm just trying to show you how a qualitative paper looks like and what all is included. So just see the first paragraph. If you see the first paragraph of any research, you will always see a lot of citations. Why do you see a lot of citations? Can anybody answer this question? Why so many citations in the first, paragraphs, first few paragraphs? Why?
Maybe it's like a literature review.
Yeah, that is, but why?
That you have
Maybe based on that, or you want to find out the gap, ma'am.
Yeah,
And based on that,
yeah,
or you are justifying.
Yeah, you have put it in black and white that you want to find the gap. That's exactly what we ultimately do. But what we are trying to show is that whatever I'm trying to research, there is a literature available
to establish a context.
Yes, there is literature available to establish a context, and you will always start from the ocean, going to a river, going to a lake, going to a pond.
Two of them have doubts, ma'am. Immaculate and.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, ma'am, for interrupting. Actually, not doubt, ma'am. Screen is not visible, ma'am.
To us, it's visible, ma'am.
Ma'am, all these days it was visible, but my
today.
side.
Then, madam, one thing you do: log off and log on.
Maybe you could reload your screen. I think.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so can I continue now? Okay, so what I'll just repeat what I was saying. I was saying that whenever you start your first few paragraphs, please remember you have to start talking from the ocean, going to a river, going to a lake, then to a pond, and maybe then to a bucket of water. What I'm trying to say is that first, whatever is your topic, whatever is the topic of your research, you have to first talk about what it is in general and then boil it down. So maybe I'll just give you an example. If I'm talking about
macro level to micro level, ma'am.
Exactly.
Broader to narrow level.
Yes. So for example, if I have to talk about something like moonlighting, do you all understand what moonlighting is?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so moonlighting, just in one line, I will just tell you for those who are not from the commerce management background. Moonlighting is a process where you take up multiple jobs. So you are a school teacher also, you are taking tuitions also. So the process of taking multiple jobs is called as moonlighting. So supposing I want to do a research on this topic. So first I will establish my context globally. Okay, so what is the situation across the globe? So supposing I'm doing a research sitting in India. So first, whenever I start writing the paper, and that's why our papers get rejected. This is the biggest reason our papers get rejected, because we in the beginning only narrow ourselves down. So what I was trying to say is that I have read studies only in India. With that, nobody is going to publish my paper. I have to definitely read what information is available, what research is available, in the globe. So we always have to start with what is the situation like across the world, what kind of research is happening. Then maybe from the world, I then slowly come to Asia. I now come down to my continent. From the continent, from Asia, I come to South Asia, and then from South Asia I come to India. That's the journey that my research must follow. If this journey, I mean, of course it can be here and there, it's not something strict, but what I'm trying to tell you is that you have to follow this path to come down to your specifics that you want to talk about. Otherwise, if you will start from India and you'll come to a particular state, it will make it's a study in isolation which will make no sense. So we always first start from the global context, coming down to what kind of research is happening here, so that some kind of comparison can also happen. Some context in terms of uniqueness can I come up with, because if something is already being discussed and talked about across the globe, and I'm also trying to say the same thing, and I'm trying to establish the same thing, then what am I adding to the body of knowledge? Nothing. So why will my paper get published? Why will my research be read by somebody? No. But if there is something special that I'm doing in India which has not been researched across the world, I can only establish when I tell people that what kind of research has happened in the world. Otherwise so are you getting what kind of context you have to develop? So we are good researchers, we do our study well, we do our methodology, conduct our analysis, we do all of that. But when it comes to writing, these are the loopholes. These are the places where we sort of fail. And that's why even if you've done some really great work, our sort of our research, our publications don't come, and that's where we get frustrated. I mean, at least when I was doing my research, that was my biggest frustration, that if I'm doing good work, why is it not getting published? So like you all are attending a workshop, I also attended, and I learned, and that's how I'm here.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
Ma'am, I have a doubt. So basically we can say that it's kind of a literature review that we are doing, but in the very start, right?
Yeah, it's a literature review. You have to tell the research gap, you have to tell your research questions. Of course you're doing all that, but I'm just telling you the way in which it has to be done.
Yeah, no, this is what I'm trying to say. Like you just mentioned, first few paragraphs should be should have, like, we should establish a context in general. What all research has basically has been done. So it's a kind of literature review that we are doing, right?
Yes. So then I'll add another statement to this. What happens is, in qualitative, we do not write a separate introduction and a separate literature review. In a qualitative study, it's more of a story that we are trying to develop, a narrate through our work. So in qualitative papers, we do not have a separate section called introduction and review of literature, and then it's more of it more of goes in the flow. So for quantitative papers, you have separate sections. Usually for qualitative papers, you do not have those bifurcations. It will also depend from journal to journal. So, but mostly qualitative work, we do not segregate introduction and literature review. It goes in one.
Yeah, okay, ma'am. Yeah,
okay.
Thank you.
Welcome. Then this, of course, is the theoretical background that they're trying to establish. And then, so they are not writing literature review, it's a theoretical background. Why is it being called as a theoretical background? Because whatever study they would have developed, so first you develop the study or whatever model they would have developed, now they're trying to give you the literature available for that model and how their model is above what is already developed. So in your review of literature also, you need to establish context in terms of what is new in your research. If you are not able to explain in your paper that this is what you are adding, your paper will not get published. As simple as that. Let me just put it that way for you. If there is nothing new in what you're adding, it's very tough to get a good quality publisher for yourself. That's what good publications look for. What is it that you're adding to the body of knowledge? How is it your study that is better from others? So I'm just trying to take you to the data collection. So remember, I told you that I did qualitative study without using any sort of fancy tools. However, these days, what is very popular in qualitative research is NVivo. Have you heard of NVivo software?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
In the workshop itself.
Okay. So NVivo is a very popular software which is used to develop themes, first order, second order. Let me just show you that. Let me take you down to the, Can you see first order codes, second order themes, and aggregate dimensions on your screen? Can you see a data structure table?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So remember, I was telling you that I developed a questionnaire all by myself, doing the entire exercise myself. Here you have a software. So what does this, what will this software do for you? This software, you just have to, like, supposing I conducted 30 interviews. So you also, do that 30 interview exercise. After that, you just need to use this software for developing this data structure. So the software will, take up all the whatever, research answers that you have got from your research questions. You have to sort of upload all of that, and that will help you in developing this first order. So I'll just tell you what is first order, what is second order, and what is aggregate. First order is exactly what the respondents said. They sort of aggregated. So aggregate on the basis of what? On the basis of commonality. Whatever is common is sort of put in first order together. Then again, what is further common is added in the second, and so on and so forth. First order is basically the statements that are directly coming from the respondents. Then whatever those statements are in the second order theme, they sort of club them to give you a phrase. So as you can see in the second order themes, a phrase is coming: ambiguity about the strategy, ambiguity about the implementation of the strategy. So about the strategy, first order, and then in the second order, about the strategy and about the implementation of the strategy. You have two phrases now coming from the statements. An exercise which I did myself manually. Now a software is there to sort of help you develop it. And then the third, the aggregate theme. The aggregate theme is coming out as ambiguity, which is sort of coming out as a common thing between the two. So these dimensions then get developed for you. And NVivo is like sort of an excellent software to which helps you in developing these this order in place. So in qualitative studies these days, having using NVivo is something very popular. One more very important thing that I would like to tell you in qualitative papers is that you cannot do a qualitative study without reading certain theories about it. So there are certain theories associated to any topic that you are doing. Any topic that you are doing, some theories would be associated with them. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you is that there are certain theories which you need to cite in your paper, whatever paper you are writing. Are there any theories that are available for that? In the studies, there are multiple theories like feminist political theory and genderization theory, grounded theory, autonomy theory. And from where are these theories coming? These theories are based on the research that you're doing. So whatever your topic is, somebody must have developed some kind of theory related to that. Now, whatever I'm trying to tell you will make sense to you once you start researching. So supposing supposing you're doing a study on moonlighting. So what you have to do is you have to, on Google Scholar, you have to search 2 to 3 theories related to that topic, which must have been developed. So why I'm trying to tell you is, now in context of your topic, read those theories. And once you read those theories, what you will find, I'm just giving you some kind of a hack. See, most of the theories are developed in the Western world. I'm sure you all agree with that. So since most of the theories are developed, in the West, we have a very good chance to sort of say that they do not cover our diversity. They do not cover our cultural dimensions, our heterogeneity that exists in South Asia. So we always have a chance of extending that theory. And that is where we are adding to the existing body of knowledge. Now, this statement that I have said is very important in the entire qualitative research. If you have not understood, please tell me. I can repeat this for you. Have you understood this?
Ma'am, kindly repeat, madam. Kindly repeat.
Yeah, that's why I stopped. See, for any topic, find out 2 to 3 theories that have been developed. The chances are that those theories that have been developed in qualitative study would most likely be from the West. And the theories that they develop in the West are, of course, so any theory that I have to develop today will be in context of India, obviously. So any theory that is being developed in the West will be with the context of their surroundings, their environment. So, and I said to you that your research must have some kind of contribution to the existing body of knowledge. Otherwise, it will not get published. So the hack is exactly this, that pick up theories and see how westernized they are and how they lack the cultural diversity which we have in India. That gap is there. So since that gap is there, through your qualitative study, you are trying to fill that gap. Did you understand?
Indianization. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, not Indianization. No, don't use this word. Say extension of theory.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you are extending the theory. You are trying to make it more universal. Right now, it was just catering to the audience of the West. Now it is also catering to the audience of Asia, South Asia. Why to restrict ourselves for our country? Let's just talk in terms of Asia or South Asia, or the global South, as we popularly call it. Okay, so
yes,
this is how we are adding to the existing body of knowledge. And in qualitative studies, it is extremely, extremely important that we add something new. And this is how we can add something new. Through the model that is developed using NVivo, and through finding certain gaps in the theories that exist. See, it's written in this this methodology. See, the semi-structured, if you can see the last paragraph on the page, the semi-structured interviews were taken for 30 to 60 minutes, and I mean, whatever language they use. So this is how you can sort of, you have to narrate everything in your methodology section. And then how did you analyze your data? And once your data is analyzed, your data structure is a very important, part of your entire qualitative study, because this is what sort of you are adding in terms of dimensions. Okay. So then in your findings in any qualitative paper will be the quotes that were stated to you when you ask those questions. So if you can see, there are a lot of dots that you see. See, you see na MM #5, MM #3. Can you all see that? Are you all with me?
Yes, MM #5.
Yes. What is this? What is this? These are all respondent.
The fog of ambiguity, in that it's there.
Yes. So these are all respondent numbers. So I will never disclose my names of my respondents. I will name them. So MM is a code that they have given them, and MM #5, whatever, 5, 6, 7. So they are now giving you what exactly they said. In verbatim, they are going to. So in findings, we usually put a lot of quotes. That's the main part, because in my findings, in my qualitative paper, my entire core is the responses that I received on my questions. That's what is the base of my research. So in findings, we will see a lot of that. Okay, see, this entire findings is full of that. So what I'm trying to do is I am trying. So what I'm trying to do is,
I have a question.
Yes.
Ma'am, when you name them as MM #1, 2, and 3, is it the same person you're mentioning, or are they this different people?
As in, they are my respondents. So if I have 30 respondents,
I think, ma'am.
Different people. Okay, ma'am, thank you. Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you.
Ma'am, I have a question too.
Respondent 2, respondent 5, like that. MM2, MM5.
Yeah, so these are respondents. These are my respondents. MM is my respondent. So you can write them R1, R2, R3. You can, whatever code you want to give them, but you cannot use their names for confidentiality.
For example, if the same person has 2 to 3 response, then how will we name them?
No, the name will remain one only.
MM #1 will be repeated again and again.
Yes. So if I've asked 5 questions from MM1, then for all the 5 questions, he remains MM1 only.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you.
Ma'am, can I ask a question?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Ma'am, as you just mentioned, there's always a gap in the theory that we can extend to Indian context, or to our place, or to be precise, the South Asia context. However, I am also doing and analyzing in the way you just mentioned. Like I am trying to extend the theory, but my primary texts are not from Indian context. They are from US. Like the authors are American literature, to be precise. So in that case, because I found a gap in the theory, there is a gap, substantial gap, and I could find it. So if I am asked a counter question, like then how will I justify it? Any
You
answers
don't
to
have
that?
to say global south. You can still extend a Western theory in Western context. There
Yeah,
is
it's
no
fine.
problem. Yeah. Because the
Okay.
theory maybe was made in 1985.
Right.
And you are researching today in 2025. Even if
Yeah,
it
my
was in the
text is
West,
also contemporary. Correct.
you can still add to it. Moonlighting didn't exist the way it exists today at
Right.
that point in time. So you can always extend. It's not necessary that if your audience are not of the global south, you cannot say that you're adding something from the global south. You are just adding to the body of knowledge, to the theory.
Also, that it should not be like we should not always go rigid terms, right? It's not that we should find a gap within the text. We can find a gap within theories. That is also fine, right?
Yes, of course. You will add to the theories only. You are
Yeah,
adding
correct.
to the theory, and you have to change the name of the theory also then.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so you have to add a term. Suppose, like I am right now working on the autonomy theory. Okay, so I am calling it relational autonomy because I'm trying to add some relational context in the global south that exists.
Okay, so in that case, I need to change according to the purpose, like the
Yes.
gap which is I'm actually covering, right?
So my gap justifies my new name.
Yeah. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. So see, if you will see these paragraphs, the respondents, after that you are trying to sum them up, that what are they trying to say? What context are you trying to diverse? So why am I adding these is because I am trying to derive meaning from the statements. So you will see those quotes. Below that you will see some paragraph explaining them. This is how your findings has to be in qualitative research. Remember the Georgia method of, so yeah, I just forgot to mention that this is called as the Georgia method of sort of showing your diagram. This diagram formation that you see on the screen is called as Georgia method. So why is it called as Georgia method? Because this is how this display typically is called as Georgia, form of display. That's the name that is given to it. Okay, you can easily Google it, and you'll see this only. Wherever you will see, you will find this as your display. Why are we sort of displaying it? It becomes easier. I'm very easily trying to display this in terms of my statements, then going to my phrases, and then finally coming to my key conclusions, that is ambiguity, MM's shared realities and separate realities, and whatever their study is all about. And then from this data structure comes my model that you will see here. See, this model is developed from the data structure that you saw above. This is your major contribution in terms of what you're trying to contribute from your entire study in the form of a model, framework model, basically from the study that has happened. So now, if you ask me, this is how it's going to be looking? No, it can be different for each one of us. Somebody can explain the micro level and the macro level part of the story. Somebody can explain what are the consequences and what were the antecedents. So it will be different for the context that you are talking about. Okay, this table tells you that who all were your part of your research. Were they male, female? Were they rural, urban? If you're trying to show intersectionality, then in intersectionality you have to show that you took some sample from the rural part of the country and some from the urban part of the country, and then you had diverse people in form of their religion also. So intersectionality, again, a very important point for qualitative study. For us, our intersectionality becomes a very important contribution in our study, especially in India, because we have different diverse backgrounds. People from different religion have different views. So that also is one part of story to tell whenever we are doing any research in India. And this story we will only be able to tell if we start developing our context from what is available globally. Because obviously in globally, we do not have so many languages, we do not have so many cultures at one place in one country. Yeah, I think only we have this kind of diversity is existing only in our country. So that is one thing which we often forget to sort of build in our study, which is already available. It's just that we have to sort of put the data in that way, and that also is a contribution from our end.
I have a doubt, ma'am.
Please go ahead.
The data that we collect, it has to be fed into NView for interpretation. How do we go about doing it?
Pardon? We have to?
The data collected.
Yeah.
To Google Forms. Now, for interpretation of the data, you had suggested some NView, and you have to feed everything.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I would like to add a point, ma'am. I don't know whether it is right or not. Please confirm it. Just now, ma'am asked a question. Okay, each question has an objective, ma'am, and based on that, we have to come to a conclusion.
Yes.
That actually works, I think.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Somebody was asking something about NVO.
What is can you spell it out, please?
Yeah, NVIVO.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Are you talking about how to use the software? For using that software, that will require a separate workshop. That I cannot Okay. Yes, somebody was saying something.
Yeah, ma'am. Can you please demonstrate how to use NVO?
That's what I just said. It's not. I don't have the software right now in my desktop that I'm using. I'm actually not.
In upcoming workshop, we may have it, sir.
Yeah. We can. It requires time. I mean, it cannot be. It's not that So I can do it. Otherwise, if you want a workshop, we can have a workshop on that. Maybe we can discuss it with the organizers. After the session is over, I can discuss it with sir. I don't know how will that work. So let me just discuss it with them once the session is over. But that requires a separate. Yeah, that requires a separate session. It can't be done.
Yeah, actually, we have to learn all that, how to prepare questionnaire and coding, NVO. We should have a separate session for.
For that, it's a separate session. Yeah, that has how to do coding. Yes, that requires a separate. Yes.
How to set NVO. Very important, man.
Yeah, that is a separate dedicated session is required for that.
Yeah, ma'am.
I was just for how to conduct qualitative study in general, but that is a dedicated software learning workshop. That's separate.
Ma'am, is it possible to you to give the classes in the morning sessions? I mean, from between 10 and 5 like that. Is it possible?
Yeah, it's possible, but I mean, I need
we'll approach you, ma'am, if that is the case. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, welcome. Yeah, so this was about my entire discussion that I had to contribute for today's session. Now it's open to questions. Whatever questions anybody wants to ask, you can ask.
Madam, how did you do the coding, ma'am? Can you please elaborate?
Yeah, I'll just share the. Actually, in terms of coding, what happens is when you upload the data on the software. So in that, what I have to do is I have to number my respondents. And then from those respondents, the data automatically is shot down to the themes. Okay, so it's the software which does that for me. That's why the software makes our work very easy. So the coding part that has to be done from my end is with regards to the numbering of my respondents.
Actually, I have plans. I have been doing some kind of action research. in regard to my students and especially LSW skills and all this.
Okay.
But I don't have proper idea about this. And I'm actually finding some gaps in my research. So if I would like to collect this, this kind of, if I want to follow this method, how much time it will be taken, ma'am? And how I have to take in the samples. For example, we have 500 students. How much samples I have to collect?
If you have 500 students,
Yes, ma'am.
what kind of data are you trying to collect? Is it a
Actually, we would
questionnaire
like
based?
to, yes, ma'am, we would like to identify their LSRW skills, ma'am. How well they are and what are the loopholes, whether they are following the methodologies that we are actually that we have been giving. All these things we would like to get the information.
So are you trying to do a qualitative study or a quantitative study with them, with your students? So your students are your sample. If I have got you correctly, your students are your sample.
Yes, ma'am. I would like to take them as samples, ma'am.
Okay, so 500 sample is quantitative study. It cannot be qualitative.
Okay, and how can I make it as a qualitative, ma'am?
As a qualitative, you have to reduce to a number like 30. I mean, typically it's 30, 35. It can go up to 50 maximum. It doesn't go beyond that. Beyond 50, we don't go for qualitative.
Okay. How is it possible in mixed ability classroom, ma'am?
Yeah, mixed method you can go for. So 500 are your respondents for your quantitative data collection through a questionnaire. Plus, out of that, you choose 50 students. You shortlist them on the basis of asking a second questionnaire with them. So second questionnaire will have certain semi-structured questions. If you think that they are answering it seriously, then you invite them for an interview for a semi-structured sort of.
Ma'am, can you quote an example, ma'am?
Example as in? What kind of example?
I mean, just now you have mentioned second category like that, just.
Okay, all right. So supposing you want to understand the applicability of soft skills and softwares that you might be teaching your students in your institution, you want to know that how well are they understanding it, right? So maybe you develop a questionnaire around that and you test them on that questionnaire, and 500 students sort of give you the results for that. That's one part. Second part of it is that you now want to do some kind of research questions in terms of qualitative. So if you want to test through a qualitative study, so what you do is you ask them questions related to the software that you have taught. That how did you, how did you use it in your study? So only if the student has actually understood it, will be able to write a paragraph for that. So this is how you will be able to shortlist them. So supposing you send these 5-7 questions to about 100 students on the basis of their marks, that those students who have got marks above 80% were sent. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to justify on the basis of which, how did you shortlist from 500 to 100? So how did you decide that these 100 will be your sample for qualitative? So your answer in your research is that I shortlisted on the basis of their marks. So all those who got 80% marks, 80 plus and above, were part of my qualitative sample. Out of these 100 students whom I asked qualitative questions, whatever questions you asked, out of those, the 50 who answered maximum number of questions became part of my qualitative study. Did you understand this?
Got it, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you. So, ma'am, the first questionnaire is general questionnaire, and on the basis of that, we shortlist, and then the second questionnaire is basically the questions that we actually need to ask.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
the seriousness, basically, how well they've answered in the first question.
Absolutely. Because it's like a written thing, so maybe some students do not answer. So those students who did not answer all the questions obviously are not interested in engaging in any further research. So I will obviously not take them. So that's how you have to justify. In research, you always have to justify each stage. If you're not able to do that, then it means that there are some biases that you are engaging in.
Okay.
And then that becomes problematic.
Ma'am, please explain the quantitative study also, ma'am.
Which study?
We understood qualitative study by refining through the quantitative. If we have to do both the tests, and we have to go for both quality and quantity. So how to do the quantitative study?
Yeah, that's exactly what I just told. That's exactly what I just
So
told.
from the highest number to the lowest number.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
same way. Okay. ma'am.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, respondents details, respondents information only you have given it as MM#1, #2
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Instead of you told we can use any other variables also.
Yeah. It's
But should
typically based on your study. So if supposing it's based on gender, then for women I will write F1, F2, F3. For males I will write M1, M2, M3. So it's completely how you would like to code it. It's that's
it is
it.
regarding the response which I get from the other people. That is only I'm quoting there. Is it right?
Yes, exactly. You're quoting that, and that's why we are not writing their names because of confidentiality. That's why
Okay.
we are coding them.
So it is like a result which I have approached and I have got. So I need not give them their details. I
No,
should
you
not.
never give them. We never give them. We never
Okay.
share the details.
Okay, ma'am. And one more, ma'am. You have used 2 or 3 dots enclosed with square brackets. What is that?
That's just that it was a statement in continuation in the beginning, and I have picked few lines from the middle. He was saying something else also, but I stopped because that was relevant for this part. So we put dots in the beginning, in the end. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Ma'am, usually how much time you spend on this, ma'am?
So it depends. I'm the current study that I'm doing. I started it while I was doing my IIT summer, senior summer school I did this year. So I started it in the month of May. And right now in the month of November, end of November, I am done with my thematics. I'm done with my coding. I am right now developing an extension to my theory. So I would say 70% of my work is done. So starting from May till now, 70% of my work is done.
So it is on
1.5
paper.
years. 1.5 years.
You are working for a paper, ma'am, or a thesis?
Yeah. No, for a paper. Thesis, I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ma'am, please explain us how to go about the pilot study and survey as well now.
Pilot study is typically for 100 respondents. In any quantitative study, 100 is your response rate for pilot study. So after you do your pilot study, whatever results you get, you have to run the software on that. Supposing you are using SPSS software for your studies. So you have to run the same, software for your pilot study also as you would for your final, study that you do.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And along with that, you also
I have a doubt, ma'am.
Yeah.
For a minor research project, how is the analysis actually made? Like, what is the sample size like? And for that, is there anything else that?
So it doesn't matter whether it's a minor research project. There is no requirement from the if it's an ICSSR sponsored minor research project that you're doing, they don't have any requirement as such. For any typical quantitative data, it has to be 300 plus. And for any qualitative data, the average is 30 to 40.
And the questions need to be closed-ended only, right? For qualitative? Meaning paragraph on.
For qualitative,
it's not open-ended.
For qualitative, it is semi-structured. But it is open. It's an open question that you're asking. But it is semi-structured sort of a question. It's an exact question which you want them to answer in a paragraph or so. And in quantitative, it is all scale based on a Likert scale that we typically take.
For such a project, there is no theoretical framework as such, right? Or
For
how do we form?
It is always good to form a theoretical framework, whether you are doing a qualitative study or you are doing a quantitative study. But the theory part of it is important, is required in qualitative study.
Even for minor research project also?
It is not required. In quantitative, it is not required. Any kind of theorization is not required. But in qualitative, it is required. Otherwise, what are we doing?
For minor research project also, it is required.
In qualitative, it is required. Yes.
Okay.
In qualitative, it is required. Welcome.
Thank you.
Can you talk about abductive? I have read in your paper. Abductive reasoning, ma'am.
Where is my screen visible? Something on the screen?
No, ma'am.
While I read the
Yes,
word
yes.
abductive
Is it
reasoning.
inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning?
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
deductive, inductive, and abductive is also there. I have read on the paper, in your paper.
Okay, actually, it was not my paper, but I will just. What terminology? Can you just spell it for me? I'm not able to.
Abductive, ma'am. Deductive, inductive, abducting. 3 reasonings we have.
Okay, yeah. Abductive is a combination of both. So I do deductive also, I do inductive also to understand which is better. Sometimes we just do one and we feel that that's it. But in qualitative, we do both. We can do both if we want to, and then a combination of the two can be used. So that's abductive.
Thank
Kartika, ma'am.
Kartika, somebody is raising
she
her
has
hand.
raised her.
Or maybe she forgot, to put her hand down.
No, ma'am. She's very conscious of it. We'll ask. Kartika, ma'am, are you there?
I think she asked a question, and maybe she forgot to put her hand down.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe, yeah.
Madam, good evening, madam.
Good evening.
Fantastic presentation, madam. So it was, so you showed an example paper related to quality. My general question is, like, if I do a research project, let's say an online course,
yes,
which students interact. So what would be the minimum sample size? How many students should do the course for research paper, for a thesis or?
So it's a qualitative study that you're planning for them?
So they do a pre-test and a post-test.
Yeah, post-test, pre-test average 40, average is 40. For a pre and a post-test analysis, average is 40.
And then they do a Google survey based on. So 40 is the.
Yes, 40 to 50 is on the qualitative basis. They do a pre and a post, and then through that, if they're developing a questionnaire to quantify it, then your sample can be for a standard Likert scale. It can be 300 plus.
But so the students who are going to take the Google survey, do the Google survey, are the students who did the course.
So then it will be again 40 to 50. The same people.
So it's not like, I'm just worried because when you ask the students to do it, you can't get a large number of sample. And plus, when they're volunteering to do some extra courses, there's no way. Yeah. So it's like, you can manage with 40, because I see,
of course.
I see, they say 300, 400, that's.
No, that's questionnaire based. That's a different thing. What you're doing is a pre-post analysis. For pre-post, it's 30, 40, 50 is a good number.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Because your entire.
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I have a question, ma'am. In the very first paragraph, you have mentioned a lot of review of literature. Yeah. For each and every term, you have used some other citation. Yeah. Could you explain me, ma'am? Actually, I don't know whether for example, we can take any intellect. You have taken from any paper alone, or whether is this the person coined the term? How did you take, ma'am? Could you explain?
Person who coined that term in the context of that research.
So we need to verify a lot of research papers, and then we have to mention each and every term also like this.
No, let me tell you. Write the first paragraph yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Then Google that first paragraph. You will find researches related to that. Cite them.
Okay, ma'am. Usually we used to take a paragraph or a interpretation or any sentence, but yours is somewhat unique and standard, ma'am.
Yeah, that's why I'm telling you, write the paragraph. Write the first 2 paragraphs. Google them. You will find researches related to that. Obviously, those words will appear in the globe.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you.
Cite them. Easy.
Sure.
Ma'am, excuse me. You
Yes.
should citations, no? We give references, no, ma'am, for a
Yeah.
paper.
Yeah.
How much count should be given, ma'am? Like, is there a limit?
There is no limit.
No limit, ma'am.
No limit. There is no limit.
Okay, but well, because first time when I gave it was up to 55.
No, no,
And
no. No good quality paper will say that. A journal will say that.
then I should not give 55.
No, that's too less.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Okay. So if I give more number of references, no problem, right?
More number of references means you have studied more papers. As simple as that.
Mm.
Whether you have studied or not.
Some of the faculty, they tell me why so much you have to shorten it. So
that
that
can be a constraint while publishing a paper.
Yes, ma'am. While for publishing only, I'm asking.
Yeah, for publishing, no publisher will tell you to shorten the your references.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you.
Ma'am, one last question.
Yes.
Ma'am, like while working on research proposals, so it's like a preliminary study we are doing right now. Things also change while we get into PhD, and our references also extend when our preliminary reading extends.
100%.
But while we are working for the proposal, is it mandatory that I should go with a minimum of these references, or like I should have minimum of these citations to get through? Because in a very start it is very difficult to read entire thing, because while you are working on the theory, there are chances you might come up with a new theorist.
Wait. Let me just make it easy for you. Write a research proposal, put it on Google. You will get a lot of references. Cite them. What's the problem?
They might ask me that if you have
read them or not. Read it. Fine, fair enough. Read them.
Read the entire thing.
No, don't read the entire thing. Read their yes, read their abstracts for sure, 100%, and then read some of part of their conclusions.
Okay, abstract and conclusions.
Yes.
And what about books? Like I'm also reading theory books, because that is mandatory while I'm doing qualitative research. So even for that, reading everything is not like at this stage it is not possible. I'm already reading one book, which is like 600 pages long, covering entire concept. So I was in flux as to how should I go about with this?
No. Don't get so overwhelmed. Yeah, don't bother yourself so much. You're just writing a proposal, which is 100% going to get changed. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So be realistic.
Ma'am said the wisest thing today.
What?
You said the wisest thing. Like out of all this is the most valid thing you said. It gets
obviously. See, I will tell you something. Let me be very honest with you. If I am a supervisor, and a student writes a research proposal and comes to me, and I don't understand it, what will I do?
Yeah, give suggestions and
no. Don't be so nice with me. I will change it. Okay.
Ma'am, actually, we are having great insight from your session, ma'am.
Yeah,
because we are coming to know lots of new things in terms of research.
Thank you. Let's be real.
Let's be prepared to get.
Yeah. Of course. So if your supervisor doesn't understand NVivo, why will she allow you to put it?
Right. This is also correct.
I mean, मेरे को सॉफ्टवेयर आता नहीं है, तो मैं कैसे तुम्हें चलाने दूंगी? वो तुम मुझसे क्वेश्चंस पूछोगे उस सॉफ्टवेयर के, तो मैं आंसर नहीं कर पाऊंगी.
Right.
So why will I let you use it? Or I am being very nice. I will tell you, देखो शिवांगी, मुझे ये नहीं आता है, तुम्हें करना है तो कर लो at your own risk.
मतलब the supervisor won't guide then.
Supervisor anyways doesn't write. We all know that. They are there to guide us. We have to do the research ourselves. We are not small students. We are scholars. So we have to study. We have to learn. We have to do it. But it's just that my supervisor should also have knowledge related to that. And if the supervisor doesn't have knowledge related to that, and of course we all have limited knowledge. We are human beings. I am studying a particular domain. So I can't answer questions related to English literature, obviously. Right? So everybody has their limitations. We are all humans and we are all learning. So I cannot guide you on something which I don't know. So I will change it, whether you like it or not.
Ma'am, one last question. Like we always have anxiety and this fear कि हम लोग जो gap ढूंढ रहे हैं पता नहीं valid भी है, सामने वाले को कुछ समझ भी आ रहा है, are we making sense, is this coming out nice? तो फिर मतलब how to navigate, मतलब I have been working and I have been diligent, not using AI, reading everything as a traditional scholar, but then every time I read or every time
I will answer that. Listen, it's your research, it's not my research. I know only what you will tell me. So why do you have to worry? अगर तुम बोल रही हो ये गैप है, अगर तुम बोल रही हो कि ये गैप है, तो एक तरीका है कि मैं क्रॉस चेक करूं भी गूगल पे बैठ के कि ये गैप है या नहीं है, जो कोई करता नहीं है.
Correct.
So cross questioning you is natural, but don't expect that I am cross questioning you because I know more than you. It is your research, you know the maximum.
So I should go with this mindset कि
yes,
जो कर रहे हैं
just be
ठीक है.
confident. Just be confident of what you're doing. That's it.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
Took a lot of your time.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shika.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
We got a lot of clarity of thoughts related to research writing, and it was really wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. So I think you have another session lined up, right? I have taken, I think, 10-13 minutes of your session, next session. I don't know.
Yes,
how is
ma'am.
it placed? Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No problem, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. Dr. Shika Makkar, for engaging and deeply informative session on questionnaire and scale development within qualitative research. Your clear guidance on adopting or adapting standard validated instruments and your emphasis on drawing from high quality research papers for a robust literature review. All these actually have provided our participants with a strong methodological foundation, ma'am. You are reminded that every research paper or thesis must contribute meaningfully to existing knowledge was particularly valuable. The way you explain the importance of formulating strong research questions, even though reverse mapping and the need to consult experts to ensure methodological correctness, all these greatly enrich the discussion. Your explanation of using multiple theories as a base for qualitative studies, maintaining confidentiality through coded identifiers for respondents, and extending the existing body of knowledge offered much needed clarity. The demonstration of JoJo display model, your insights into NVIVO for qualitative analysis, and the overall interactive nature of your session made complex ideas remarkably accessible. We sincerely appreciate your practical wisdom, your clarity, and the depth of expertise you shared with all of us today, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for such kind words. I hope I made your 1 hour, worth, being with me. And I wish you all the very best in whatever research that you do. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such an insightful session.
Thank you. I'll take your leave now. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye, everyone. Have a good day.
Yeah, thank you, madam. Thank you.
Have a good day, ma'am. Sir, Rahimuddin sir?
Yes, madam.
Sheila Rani ma'am came.
Madam has joined, madam. Madam has joined.
Okay. Sheila ma'am, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. Yeah, yes, I'll put this one into spotlight. Yeah. Now the name of the session is how to select a good research topic and formulate research questions. And now I would like to introduce Dr. B. Sheila Rani Simon. It is our privilege to welcome Dr. B. Sheila Rani Simon, Assistant Professor of English at Vasavi College of Engineering, Hyderabad, where she has been serving with distinctions for 22 years. With a total teaching experience of over 25 years, Dr. B. Sheila is recognized for her innovative and impactful contributions to ELT. Dr. Sheila earned her PhD in ELT from Osmania University and has published research papers in Scopus and UGC peer-reviewed journals and edited books. Dr. Sheila has presented and chaired sessions in more than 20 national and international conferences, receiving the Best Paper Award for one of her presentations. Dr. Sheila is an active academic leader, serving as a BOS member for engineering colleges in Hyderabad, a paper setter for university examinations, and a contributor to several academic committees and developmental initiatives. Dr. Sheila has completed orientation and refresher courses with A grade from Osmania University, along with numerous FDPs and MOOCs. Notably, she ranked in the top 1% and top 5% in NPTEL courses on communication skills and all, and qualified Telangana set in 2017. Her areas of expertise include ELT, communication skills, teacher development, curriculum design. Madam, thank you so much. We are privileged to have you for your guidance to our participants through the process of selecting strong research topics and formulating meaningful research questions. Thank you, ma'am. Now the screen is yours, ma'am.
Thank you for the lovely introduction. It was so nice listening to my own introduction. It's been a long time. Can you see my screen, participants?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep. I don't know if I have to go back. I was just listening to Shika ma'am's talk, and I was wondering if my talk should have preceded hers, and because I'm addressing people who are into the basic starting point of research. I would rather what do I say? I would rather address people who are into research for a reason. If you look at my title, I said how to select a good research topic and formulate research questions. I highlighted good. So even before I start with my presentation, I hope my slides are clear. Can you see them?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Ma'am, your slide is not moving.
No, I haven't moved it yet.
Madam hasn't moved it, sir.
I haven't.
Okay.
See, since this is a multidisciplinary workshop, and I come from the ELT background, English Language and Teaching, and I've done my research in ELT and so to say employability skills. I'll talk about it a little later, but then my talk is addressed to people who are doing their PhD, scholars who are doing their PhD in the very initial stage. If you look at my title, I said this forms the basic question as to how we need to start our research. If you look at my slide, I call this the prelude, and you see a lot of challenges, you see a lot of difficulties that arise in our journey as PhD scholars. So I would want to just address and give you a complete practical orientation to this journey called PhD. And I've taken a couple of reviews, a couple of studies here. If you look at the survey, there are 3 surveys that I picked up, and all of it, if you see the title, I said how to select a good research topic. That's the first step, so to say. If scholars have to think about PhD, they'll have to think about a topic first. That's there in their mind. And if you look at the survey, first recent survey, which is taken in December 2023, it is titled Challenges Faced by Research Scholars or Students in India Exploring the Impact of Limited Bond and Negative Relationships with PhD Guides. It says 60% of their respondents reported high levels of stress and anxiety during their journey. And 30% of the respondents have ever considered dropping out? I mean, this is something we know. This is something that has happened to us. It has happened to all of us. And I am just acquainting you with how it is to be able to feel like this, and how it is normal to feel like this. Some of us have anxiety, some of us have stress, some of us go through, even areas where we lack a lot and we shiver and we go back to our supervisors and we say we don't want to do PhDs. In fact, the reality is some of us have taken many years to complete our PhDs. I'm addressing scholars who are wanting to do PhD for the love of research. So this is a survey. This is the first survey. I said it is absolutely normal to feel stressful. It is absolutely normal to feel that you cannot do it. And another recent peer-reviewed study, the second one which I am quoting, is on unpacking the doctoral journey in India. Blah, blah, blah. It also says that there's a high level of dropouts, there's a high risk involved, there's low engagement, the supervisors are not supportive, they are inadequate, you don't get the right direction and guidance. All that is there. But then these two, in fact, the third one also tells you it all begins because we haven't started properly. See, I've highlighted statements and phrases which actually need our concentration and our focus. See, what I'm trying to tell you at the end of the day is our starting step, where picking the right topic is something that is very, very crucial. And that's something that we have to do in the very beginning. And how to do it, how practically can we do it instead of trying to get stressful about it, is what my talk is all about. So if you look at the third survey also, this is also a recent one, and everything the research says, all the researchers say they had weak mentorship, misaligned supervisors, no guidance, and stress and anxiety and poor negative supervisors, all that, which has led to their discontinuing their research, which has led to their dropout level, which has led to a lot of stress, and somehow they haven't done it within the scope of the years that the university has given them. So knowing all this is the prelude, knowing all this in the background, let me start the topic. My very first question, we know all this. This has happened to us. This has happened to me. This has happened to every scholar. We have come to a point where PhD becomes like a big, devil. It becomes such a big rock that we cannot, climb. So what I'm trying to tell you is, if our step in the very beginning is put right, is guided right, then our journey becomes a very, very smooth one. So if you look at the slide here, there are three words that are very, very crucial for our success as a PhD scholar. 1, interest. 2, relevance. 3, feasibility. And I've picked up the meanings for these three, and it's very important for us to know what it is even before we start our journey, because choosing the right research topic is crucial to our success. Now, sometimes I'm sure some of us have faced, situations where we were asked to change our topic, or we ourselves went to our supervisor and said, we don't want to do this topic because it's difficult, or because we are not able to find material, or because we are not able to get to the information, blah, blah, blah. Whatever the reasons, let us look at the entire perspective of finding the right research topic in a more practical way, so that at the end of the day, we love what we are doing. So these three words are very pertinent to our research, and this is something that has to play in the background as we follow through our journey. 1 is interest, 2 is relevance, and 3 is feasibility. If you look at the terms that are used to define what interest is. It's a desire to learn or hear more about something. So this desire should stem from you. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. You should be involved in your research. And when does this desire come? When you yourself are into it, you are interested in it. You want to add to the repertoire of information that is present. It is yours. If you want to do it for something, some other reason, then the best doesn't come out. So keep that in mind. 2, relevance. How am I going to work? I mean, what am I going to work and how is it relevant to the present knowledge? Is it adding to the present system of knowledge? So is it practical? Am I adding to the knowledge repertoire? 3, feasibility. Is it possible for me to carry out? What's the scope? Is it achievable? How difficult is it? How easy is it? So these 3 terms please have this in the background of your mind, and then we'll move on. Some more facts. This is something that's very practical. I've had a very practical approach to my topic. Yep.
Ma'am, the PPT is not moving. It's stuck on the first page only.
It's not moving.
Yes,
you can't see the introduction style?
No, ma'am, we haven't seen anything. We have just seen the first page. Yes, ma'am. Sorry to disturb
Only
you, but
first page is seen till now.
Can you see now, ma?
No. Only first page introductory part is seen.
Title page is there, ma'am.
You're still on the first
Only
page,
title
ma'am.
page.
Ma'am, kindly click that enable editing from your page so that it will start moving from there.
Okay. Yeah. Just a minute. I'll get back to that. I'm sharing it again so that just can you
introduction?
Can you see the slide now, ma?
Introduction.
Yeah, introduction.
Yes, ma'am.
Slide.
Introduction slide.
Can you see the introduction slide?
The prelude now.
The prelude is what is visible. I'm sharing it right from the beginning. Just let me know.
Introduction.
Yeah.
Some facts.
Can you see the?
Yes, ma'am. Some facts now.
Some facts. No, if I can you see the slide?
Yes, ma'am.
No. All right. Let's see something on this one. Then can we have the smaller screen? Yeah, I think that then I'll be able to move. Right. Thank you. Not this. Right. Can you see this? This is much better, I guess. All right. So we are done with
Ma'am, you stopped
the introduction slide. Sorry?
You stopped sharing.
Not visible, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Visible now.
Ma'am, enable editing, ma'am. You just click on that, ma'am. Your cursor is, yeah, there itself.
Yeah. Now can you?
No, ma'am. Again, it went back.
Can you see the slide now? If you can see the slide, that should be okay.
The slide is there, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's the slide I'm playing.
Yes,
now can you see the slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. It's visible, ma'am. Just you move it, ma'am, once.
Yeah, I'll just move the down or arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
now it is some facts are visible.
Yeah, some facts is the slide I'm playing.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Now, please let me know if the slides aren't moving because I can talk like this. Okay.
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
Yeah. So
thank you, ma'am.
Right. Please let me know, participants. Otherwise, I'll be playing the slides on my screen.
Sure, ma'am.
Yep. Okay. Some more facts. Let's get back to our topic. This is addressing, like I told you, people who would want to do research for the love of research. Let's be very, very factual on this. See, there are a number of reasons why people take up PhD, and most of them are doing it either for the job or it's a must by the UGC norms, and very few are doing it for the love of research. To be very practical, because it's become a mandatory thing for all of us. Okay, whatever the reasons we have, the question is, are we doing the right thing? Are we doing it because we want to do it? Are we doing it out of interest? All right, so we'll have to ask ourselves this question. What I am trying to do through this presentation is I'm going to be more descriptive than prescriptive. That is, I want to some rules, or I will not give you some steps or things like that, but I'll tell you how it is important for us to keep these three factors, which is interest, relevance, and feasibility, in mind while we are doing our research throughout till we bring out our thesis. So one is we have to be practical in our approach. We are going to face challenges. We are going to face hurdles, hardships. We are ready for it. We are not going to drop it. See, there are, if I ask some of you participants and find out whether you have been given a time frame within which you have to complete, most of the universities will say 5, 4+1 for part-time, and there's a framework of time that is given to us. But if you have seen people who have completed their PhD, they have gone beyond those 5 years. Now, my concern is they have done that because of certain practical problems, which I am going to address here. So some of the questions that arise in scholars' mind when they start with their PhD is, the first thing is, who's going to tell me what topic is good? We are looking for people to give us topics. We are looking for ways in which we can get an easy topic to do, or something that is available, something that is on which we have information available, or questions like whether university will be able to fund my research, or whether we have a good supervisor who's going to guide us well, or how many papers. In fact, recent news says that paper publication is not mandatory for thesis for the award of PhD. So that's a good news. Anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is, when the scholar is set out to do his or her PhD, there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of confusion, and surprisingly, answers to most of these questions that they have in mind are varied. You have different answers given. You have your supervisor saying something, you have your friends saying something, you have your seniors who are saying something. But the thing that we have to get to is whether you are interested. What suits you the best? Have you taken up an area? Have you taken up a topic because somebody says it is good? Have you taken up a topic because it is it's going to be an easy journey? People promised you that it's an easy journey. So reasons are something that we'll have to literally figure out. Then this presentation is all addressed to people who want to do it because they love adding to the repertoire of knowledge. They want to do it because they want to call their thesis their own. I'm surprised when I was doing my PhD. I was surprised where some of people came around and saying that you can buy a thesis and then submit. There are so many things happening in the market. You don't have to literally go through the journey in order to get your PhD awarded. I am telling you, it is a different, enjoyable, your own sweat and blood if you do it the way you want to do it. If you do it because you like it. So I think there should be a personal touch to your research, and that is what is lacking in most of the researchers these days. If I can go to the next, please, participants.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
We are able to see how to start research.
Okay, please respond, because I'm worried if the slides are being
Yes,
played
ma'am.
on.
Yes.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. How to start research? Where do I begin? This is where the scholars think. First, what do I do if I have to get through? So most of them think that identifying a good research topic is the beginning of research. I would say, from my experience, that finding a good research topic is research itself, because it's not easy. I cannot just pick up something that somebody gives me or my supervisor advises, and I go around doing research on it. It's very important that I do something that I am interested in. It's very important that I select a topic that best suits me, that I'm interested in, and it's worthwhile. And then I'll be able to give my full 100%. So I would say finding a research topic is definitely time taking. And if it takes time, you go to the library, you look at abstracts, you look at the extended works in theses, and you look at so many things. It does take time. There are so many questions that pop up in your mind. Whether this title that I've given, this topic that I've given, is it worded correctly? You go back and forth. Sometimes even and say, ma'am, I would like to go to supervisor and say, I would like to change my topic. Well, everything is okay. All of it is okay. Until you think it is right, so much of time spent on it is not waste. So I would say it's time taking to arrive at a research topic. It's definitely time taking, and it's normal. It's normal. We don't have to rush through it. And a good research topic is definitely going to be refined. It's not going to be very refined in the very beginning. We'll have to bring it down. We have to solidify it. We have to make it a little narrow. We have to give it a good title. We have to bring down the focus of research and then present it. So all this is a process in itself. And what basically we do is we go and ask people for suggestions. We ask people to give us topics that would help you to continue your research. And surprisingly, in fact, sometimes I'm a little taken aback by the very idea that you pick up a topic that somebody has suggested you, and I was wondering how you could do something to the topic, or you would carry out the topic which somebody else likes. Can we give our 100% to such a topic as suggested by others? So think about it. Is it important for us to ask people for topics, especially supervisors? In fact, some of our own supervisors are kind enough to tell us this is where you can do, this is where you can start your research. But I would say, ask yourself, are you interested in it? So it is very important that you know yourself, which is the area I would like to do, where does my interest lie, and then begin to look for topics. Always give importance to your interest. I'm emphasizing on that. And If it takes time, if it takes a lot of months for you to actually arrive at a particular research topic, doesn't matter. It's okay. So the first and the foremost important thing of choosing a research topic is to be able to be interested in it. Then, what is a good research topic? Let's come down to this. There are 4 things that I have, put on the slide. 4 things, and 4 things I've highlighted in red. These are the 4 things that we should have had in mind when we started off with what the research topic would be. 1, we have to understand that the research topic is something that takes time. Nothing comes easy. It's hard work, a lot of reading, a lot of time taken, a lot of suggestions, a lot of scrutiny. All this happens. So it takes time. 2, you'll have to see whether a good research topic is broad enough. What do I mean by broad enough? Broad enough because we need, secondary sources. We need secondary material. We need primary materials. We need, information available for us to actually read and explore and find out. So a good research topic is broad, but at the same time, it should be narrow enough so that you are not overwhelmed with too much of information. If you have, it's called information overload, in the 21st century, you Google anything and you have a lot of information in thousands of pages, in lakhs of pages, you get a lot of information on any topic. That's called information overload. And I think we have to keep a balance between seeing that a good research topic is broad enough, at the same time narrow enough to address a question, narrow enough to address a problem, narrow enough to work on a solution, to research on a solution, to be able to give you an answer to the question that is in the research area. So a good research topic should give you the secondary material, should be able to give you the information available. Like the word itself says, search again. So are we having enough information to search and get our info from? And at the same time, is our research adding new knowledge? This new knowledge is something that's very important. Otherwise, it ceases to be called research. And the 4th thing is, it is something that you should love doing. It should be something that comes from your heart. That brings me to the 2 dimensions of a research topic. Is this slide visible, participants?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, great. So 2 dimensions of research topic. 1 is the text and 2 is the cotext. That is, the text. Let's say if we are doing research in literature, we need to have the author, the text, and the works. Okay, selected works of the author, and that is our primary source. And we also have to see whether information available on this particular author, the author that I like, the works that I like, is available for me to do a proper study. Second, I also have to think about whether I'm interested in poetry, whether I'm interested in fiction. What is the area, the genre in which I would want to do my research? So it's about your choices. Basically, what is it that I'm trying to drive home is, it's about you doing something. It is a desire that has sprung up from you. Then you are able to give a complete 100% of your time and your energy and your resources. So do not listen to others. There is this talk in the academia about easy research and difficult research. People say it is easy to take fiction because there's lots of material available. It's difficult if you take poetry because you have to write a lot. So I would say don't listen to others. I would say listen to your own self, your own interest, and do what you love. Automatically you will see how many hours you have put in. Automatically it doesn't look stressful. Automatically you love doing what you're doing. So at the end of the day, your interest is what counts. Then come to the context. You'll have it's somebody. I was just listening to the previous lecture, and I was wondering if people still have this question as to whether there is a need for a framework or a perspective or a theory. Yes, research is all about that. You are looking through some theory. You are looking, you see, the theory is like a lens. You look through that lens and find out something about that text. You like to analyze that text, or you like to interpret that text through this lens, which is the theory. And that's very, very important. We need the text, we need the primary source, we need the author, and we also need the framework. This is another thing that you'll have to keep in mind. So the two dimensions of research topic, of arriving at a good research topic, is the text and the context. Let's look at the practical things that we have to do. Like I told you, I'm going to take you through a descriptive journey of arriving at a good research topic, not a prescriptive type. I'm telling you some things that are not told. For example, people say don't use Wikipedia. Is the slide available? Visible, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So people, many of my own colleagues and friends have told me, not when I was doing my research, not to use Wikipedia. But then, to my knowledge and to my experience and surprise, I figured out that it's a good thing if you in the initial stages to use Wikipedia, because it gives you some key terms. When my research topic is not so specific, not so focused, I don't have the terminologies, I don't have the vocabulary to suit the topic I'm interested in, then I use Wikipedia because it gives me those terms, it gives me those words to frame my topic. So I would say through my experience, it's good. So in the initial stage, it is good because you get that vocabulary, you get those terms to frame your question or to frame your research topic. And along with that, there is something called C also in Wikipedia. When you look at that C also in Wikipedia, it gives you a number of related topics. So you are branching out your interest. You're trying to know more about what your interest is in that field. It will give you ideas. It will give you more related topics to branch out and to get a better and a broader spectrum idea of your topic. So I would say in the initial stage, yes, use Wikipedia. To talk about it to people. What do I mean by that? Before I formulate my research topic, with people, talk to friends, talk to, if you don't have anybody, at least talk to yourself and see those ideas bounce. You will get ideas as to how you can actually arrive at a good research topic, because in the course of your talking to people, in the course of your self-talk, or in the course of sharing it with friends, you have to explain it. And that's where our key lies. When you're explaining it, you discover the areas where you cannot explain. You discover where you are lacking. You discover where you are facing difficulties. You discover that, while explaining, you're suddenly trying to give new dimensions and new ideas to your own topic. So it is a process. That's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. It is a process, and it takes time. When you do this, you become more clear. You chip away those unwanted, things from your topic. It narrows your scope, and you begin to get new ideas. Third, I would say attend seminars, workshops, and conferences. Some of us don't. Some of us think we only have to attend because we have to present papers and stuff. But if you are on the research journey, if you are on the verge of starting to do your PhD research or even a project or anything of that sort, it is an advantage if you attend workshops and seminars, because these are the places where you get leads. These are the places where you get ideas. These are the places that give you what is happening in the latest of the academia, what is happening in the research arena. You know, it gives you insights sometimes to choose your own topic of interest, something that somebody presented you are interested in, and then you try to research on it and it becomes your topic. So my own experience says the worst papers that are presented in seminars offer something to us. It gives us an idea. So I believe that some of the ways, very practical ways of finding a good research topic is to just go and sit in some of these conferences. Then the fourth way is to go through these award ceremonies. We have these Booker Prizes, we have these awards given to best writers and authors. I would say that's another very nice way, very easy way to get a list of authors and their works. And the only way to shortlist those good authors and their works is through these award ceremonies. And it's very easy because they would have had a process to bring down the list, and they would have picked up, they would have had a lot of people do work to bring a shortlisted authors. So if we can lay our hands on this list, it'll become easy for us to at least zero in on an author or a book. So how can I find something that I'm interested in? If you can get a look at the shortlisted prize winners or the list of authors or the books, I think that's another beautiful way of finding your research topic. And the fifth one is, of course, the Shod Ganga, the PhD repositories. We sit in the libraries, look at the extended works of PhD thesis. It gives you a lot of research gaps. The scope, if you look at the scope there, they'll tell you something that they couldn't do, and it is out of their own research area. We can pick leads from there and try to get our own research topic. So these are some of the practical ways of finding out a good research topic. Then let us also understand.
Dynamic PPT is visible, ma'am.
This is visible. Okay, thank you so much. So let's understand that research is dynamic. Some of us are very, very, what do I say, stringent in our thinking. We want to just go by what others have done, this step, and then the next and the next and the next. No, research is dynamic. What do I mean by dynamic? It changes often. You probably would have started with something, and then it's moving on to something else. There are lots of things that are springing from your reading. There are lots of things that are getting added on. It's perfectly okay. It's absolutely fine, because the broader skeleton or the framework is the same, and new things have been added on. It's absolutely fine. This is where sometimes scholars, I feel, find it difficult and they get stuck and they want to change their topic. I'm sure most of the scholars, after some period of time, they will go back to the supervisor and say, ma'am, I want to change my topic, or I want to do something else. This is not something I want to do. Why do we arrive at that? because we don't understand that research is dynamic. We don't want to think that things can spring up, new things, new ideas can be added on, and it's normal. What I'm trying to say is that it's normal. Research evolves, it grows, otherwise it ceases to be research. So your topic also can evolve, because as you start reading, new ideas come up and you pen down those new ideas and you see how those ideas are relevant to your own topic. And this is something that is normal and it happens. And that's why I'm saying it is time taking. Then again, reiterating what I have already said, do not compare yourself with others, because we are made differently. We are of different interests. We cannot do something that others are interested in. Sometimes we compare our own hard work or whatever it's called with others, and you find that for them it's smooth sailing and for you it is rough weather. But then again, I told you, if it stems from your desire, remember those three words that I've used initially: interest, relevance, and feasibility. I think we'll be able to do a better job, and we'll be able to do it well. Coming to the later part of my topic, how to formulate a research question. What is a good research question? Like I already said, it should be a relevant topic, something that you are interested in, something that is going to add to the research value to the society as a whole, something that you love doing, and something that is exactly what do I say, broad and narrow enough. Then think about also how much when you research the topic thoroughly. Like I said, you can use your Google search, you can use information and see how much of your topic has been explored. Okay, can we make changes? Can you bring about a different perspective on that topic? There are lots of subtopics that come into the picture once you start exploring, once you start finding about the information. So it's very important that what you like and what you are narrowing your topic to, is it already done? Is information already present? So that is something that we have to do as our second step to narrow your topic to a single point. What do I mean by that? When I say this is the area, I have to talk about what question, what is it that I am looking for in this? Okay, what is the question that my research is going to answer? And you can ask yourself these questions. Can I cover this topic within the scope of my paper? How long will it take? How much of research am I going to do? Is this research enough for me to be able to make it into a paper or into a thesis? What question or how this question is going to add value to the existing knowledge? So select a relevant topic, research the topic, narrow it down, and the fourth is turn it into a problem statement. For example, use all the what WH questions and open-ended questions, and you will find that these research questions are something that will start to be a very integral part of your process, because you will start answering them as you do your research. Every step of your research, you'll be answering one of these questions because they come up as a problem to your topic, and you want to address this problem. And when you're addressing this problem, you're doing research, and when you're doing research, you're bringing answers to these complex questions. So it's important that there is a formula, a problem that is stated in the topic, and for which you are researching for, and for which you are trying to find answers, and for which you are analyzing and bringing out the findings. So do not think of a research question where the answer is just yes or no. Then to summarize, I would quickly like to summarize. I would say that a good research topic should be able to give you the scope and the focus of your study, should be able to have the quality and the depth of research should be able, you know how much time it will take, what kind of resources are available. Then you should also have something that you are interested in, something that you will add as original piece of information to the already existing knowledge, something that is clear, relevant, and feasible. And we have our resources. Like I told you, you have a lot of information available. How much of what you are looking for is available, and finding sources for your topic. And then to be able to identify your potential areas, how are you going to answer those problems? How are you going to answer those questions? How are you going to narrow down to smaller questions, and you start researching and getting answers to that, while keeping your originality and your significance, the significance of your research. So am I analyzing the text? Am I analyzing the works of an author through this framework so that I have a different perspective to that work? So there is something that I'm adding on to the already existing knowledge. So I would say that some of the common mistakes scholars in the very initial stage do is they pick up something that is very broad in terms of their topic and very vague. So you don't know how to go about it. You don't know where to start and how to get material for that. So that's where formulating a good research question comes into being. Then sometimes we also have, we ignore the resources. We look for shortcuts. We want people to quickly give us something, and we read just a few, and then few papers or few articles or few books, and we want to write a thesis. It doesn't happen that way. It's very, very important that we spend time. Like I told you, it's a process. It's time taking. We cannot hurry up with research. And then, like I said, your interest lies, and when your interest is there in it, you're able to put your heart and soul in it, and originality becomes the key to your research. So with that, I would like to end my topic on how to arrive at a good research topic. Participants? Yeah. I'm willing to take any questions queries from you guys.
Excuse me, ma'am, I have a doubt, ma'am.
Yeah.
How should a valuable research paper in literature should be? Because I have seen some of the papers that are only focused on the primary text alone. Some of them, they have included the secondary source, only one book. For example, Freud's The Ego and the Id. That alone has, they have used as lens, and they were looking into the primary text. And some of the research papers that they have used so many theories, so many theorists. So how should a valuable research paper of English literature, I just want...
Yeah, I'm so happy that somebody spoke about English literature, because it's a multidisciplinary workshop, and I was wondering if there is anybody who's interested in ELT and literature. Well, to answer your question, if it's a research paper that you're talking about, like I told you, any research requires a framework, and any research requires you to look through that framework to analyze the text. So for us, what is it that you are using as a framework? That's very, very important. So if you are looking at a text or maybe selected works of that particular author, just all the selected texts, and through that framework, you should be able to analyze and see how it has been, written, how it has been interpreted. So when it comes to literature, it's very important that your selection of the author, the selection of his works or her works is done very, very carefully.
Should we use one and only secondary source, ma'am, or can we use more secondary sources?
No, secondary sources can be many. I mean, you don't have to use only one. You really don't have to use only one, because you have a lot of information. See, resources are many, right? And from the framework on which you are analyzing your author or his works, you get a lot of ideas if you use secondary sources. So I don't think you'll have to restrict yourself to just one.
Thank you.
Oh, ma'am, I have a question.
Yeah.
Did I interrupt you, ma'am? Please carry on. I'll ask later.
No. I was saying I don't know how many of you are as participants are from literature and ELT background, because this is my area. I have done research in ELT, and
Ma'am, I'm
this is
Lakshmi Rangarao. I'm also
Right.
literature come ELT background student, ma'am.
Okay.
I have a great interest for both, and I just want to complete a good research with ELT. And I'm
Okay.
so happy to have you today, ma'am. Most of my doubts got cleared today. I'm just waiting to give the appreciation and show gratitude towards that. I was struggling upon how to choose my primary sources. Now I got the clarity, ma'am. And your presentation has given a lot of clarity for researchers like me who's going to begin with the research.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the clarity, ma'am. Ma'am, I want your mail ID and contact number, so that will be a great help to go.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dhanalakshmi, ma'am.
Thanks,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much. Like I said initially, I was
Hello?
addressing people who are starting the journey. It's very important because, you know, all that, you know, we are looking for is a good research, you know, and I qualified that good by saying what is good about it. It's very important that we put our heart and soul in it, and it is our work. At the end of the day, I should be able to say it is my work and I have added to the knowledge. So something that is mine, I will put a lot of effort, and effort comes out of the heart. You know, we put our interest and soul into it. So it's very important for us to really understand what areas we love, what is it that we want to do. It's not something that is picked up. It's like this, you know, you if you're doing something that somebody else has suggested, then it becomes a half-hearted effort. You should be able to do it because you love doing it. And research in ELT and research in literature is all about that. The love of the person, the author, and the love of being able to add to the existing knowledge in terms of ELT, English language teaching. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening.
Yeah. Good evening. Sri Devi, ma'am.
I'm
Yes, ma'am.
yes, ma'am. I'm a full-time scholar, ma'am. Regarding to my research, I'm doing in ELT, ma'am.
Okay.
In English. Ma'am, I require your email ID and phone number, ma'am, because I want to contact you, ma'am, in through phone call, ma'am. And it was a very nice and awesome session, ma'am. You're hosting, ma'am.
Thank you.
Really, it was a very good, ma'am. Very good, nice session, ma'am.
Thank you.
Please provide your email and your contact number, ma'am.
Sure. I will give it to you. I will share the, PPT also in the group so that you can keep that as a framework and start your research. So it's very, very important because I have honestly, ma'am, I have faced these problems. This is something that has happened to all of us who have finished their PhDs, and there was nobody to tell us. So, like I said, my journey is what I have shared with you, because I have changed my topic and I have gone ahead and asked people all this. But then at the end of the day, what mattered is how am I going to carry this if I don't love what I am doing? So
Yes, ma'am. Tell me.
So the ELT topic, which I've taken also because I work in Vasavi College of Engineering and engineering setup, I took employability skills as my topic, and that's so relevant to our engineering graduates. So I just loved the research that I have done in that area.
Okay, ma'am. Very nice, ma'am. I really need your inputs, ma'am.
Sure, ma'am. I'm there to help you. Help anybody.
Now, I have a very stupid question. Now, you might say, what question you are exactly asking, Shivangi? Ma'am, actually, see, there is this.
No question, Shivangi, ma'am. No question is stupid because I have been. If there is a word like stupider, I've been like that when I started on my research.
Ma'am,
yeah,
so I'm working on my proposal and trying to get into PhD. Like, I have not given any interview as of now since I'm working on my proposal. But then, whenever I come across any workshop, any seminars, or any FDP, and the speakers interest me, like the panelists are good, so I have an inclination and I end up attending all those FDPs and seminars. But then at the end of the day, I have this guilt. I go on a guilt trip, basically saying that that the topic I am doing is different, but the workshops or anything that interests me, not from the proposal point of view, but something that I want to listen to those speakers to understand the current trends going on English literature or theoretical lenses. So should I stop that for a while and put my time totally to proposal, or is it fine that I if I can go on my own place, like slowly, and attend these FDP side by side? Like now this might sound like what question you are trying to ask, but this is something that I might not end up delaying my working on my proposal, to be precise and to be honest.
Shivangi, there are so many sub questions you've asked in this entire 1 minute of your questioning. I don't know which one to address. One is, are you saying it's good for you to attend conferences so that you write a proposal?
So the proposal I'm working on is different, but the topics that interest me, it's because the speakers interest me a lot. Like I like those speakers and I love attending and understanding what the current trends actually are.
Okay, so I would say you start from prioritizing what you want. One, if your proposal matches with the conferences talks that are being delivered there, good. Draw a parallel between the two, right? If you're attending some conference and you love somebody's presentation and the current issue that he or she is addressing, make that into a proposal. See, either ways, you'll have to match the two. You can't attend a conference or a speech, something that you are not working on. It's not going to add to your proposal, right? It's not going to further your proposal. So I would say keep the two connected. Okay. You like something, you pick up that and begin from there. Or you have a proposal in your mind and see how you can match your, which is equivalent to somebody else's speech. So there should be some connectivity. We cannot, work in different directions. So that is something you'll have to have clarity of mind. What is it that you are looking for? What is it that you're wanting to do with your proposal? Is it going to help you branch out into various areas by attending the conference? Ask yourself that question. Otherwise, don't attend conferences that are not leading, from where you don't get a lead, from where you don't get an idea that can further your proposal.
Right?
Yes,
right. Yes, I understood.
Ma'am, it also provides some kind of integration, ma'am.
Yes.
And the association and all these actually strengthen our, the way we see the things and all, ma'am.
Yeah,
absolutely.
This is right, ma'am. But what my point is, my topic differs, and the speaker speaks on that differs. But I listen to them because it gives me ideas on research papers for research papers purposes.
True. So pick up, Shivangi. So what what you are interested in that speaker's delivery, you pick up from there. Make a proposal out of it. That's what I'm trying to say.
I think ma'am has some time constraints, ma'am. And that's the reason maybe she has, if we have plenty of time, okay, we can have that kind of association and we can actually pick up many things and which are actually very important on, and we can leave the things which are unimportant. Maybe sometimes because of the time constraint.
కానీ మళ్ళీ తీసి బయటికి లోపల నుంచి తీసి టర్నింగ్ తీసి వచ్చే వరకు లేట్
Sometimes what happens is we work backwards. Vamshi sir, we work backwards. We say we have to finish this within 1.5 years and therefore we are going to work on it. No, I think it's the other way around. We work so that we finish it. Let it be a number of months. See, for example, the recent Scopus paper that that got accepted, it took me 1 year, 9 months. 9.5 months to be precise. I lost it, for it to be in procedure. Time is not in our hands. That's the whole idea that I'm trying to drive home. You cannot say I will do research or PhD within the 4 or 5 years that is given to me. Well, that is given by the university. Those are university norms. But if you are at it, you should be involved thoroughly. That's my, and if you're doing it through your heart and from your heart, you will see that time just flies and you'll be able to reach the deadline. So most of the time is, yes.
No, ma'am, I was not saying. Sorry, my mic was on unmute. I was talking somewhere else.
Ma'am, I would like to quote a small thing, ma'am. It's not quotation, but I would like to share my ideas and all.
Sure, sir.
So actually, I'm from literature background, ma'am. Okay. If I do not have the association with the other subjects, other domains or other things at all, or this kind of exposure, maybe related to FDPs, conferences and all this, I may not have the perception what they had.
True, very true.
Okay, yeah. And in the course of time, when actually I joined so many conferences and I shared my knowledge and I listened to them and all this. Actually, it created some kind of broader perception and I can integrate all the things. I can synthesize. Otherwise, if it is a traditional outlook, we can see, okay, this is only the thing and all. When I started doing like this, I also try to understand, okay, we can keep all these things, even we can apply these things to our literature background. Like that.
Your perspective broadens.
Yeah, definitely, ma'am.
It's definitely beneficial for us to attend conferences. In fact, it boosts your confidence in the area you're trying to work, and it definitely will give you some lead. So it's good. Swarna ma'am, I totally agree with what you're saying.
Many times I lend my ear for the people who are talking about engineering or other domains, ma'am. Not only our English, ELT or linguistics or literature. The other things also.
Yes, other subjects, other
there is a
domains
chance
also.
whether there is a chance to blend them and all this. Even politics. So we can actually politics, psychology, all these actually can be integrated in literature. Even I'm trying to see all these things can be applied, even which are actually in real time. We can integrate them to our domain, ma'am.
Oh yes. Nowadays, everything has become very dynamic and fluid. Everything. I mean, research has become a multi, approach kind of a thing. So integration becomes a real good area.
And also, I have a problem, ma'am. I don't know whether other people are facing or not. So now I completely engross into this work and I am very happy on this platform and I can share my knowledge and sometimes I get the knowledge from this domain. I mean, from this kind of setting. But sometimes I have aversion also. I don't want to spend even 1 minute also. Aversion. Okay, that means hatred. Yeah. I cannot even spend even single minute with the gadgets. So sometimes I may have this kind of extreme things. Maybe if we have get exposure, complete exposure with the gadgets, I think we may have those.
Swarna ma'am, I
This is
second you. I
my
am
feeling.
with
Like I
you.
want
This
to
happened to
even
me
run on
also.
this.
Can I say something? Somewhere literature and ELT teachers or scholars are not trying to, I would say, be tech savvy. We don't want to be tech savvy. I don't know whether it's want or no, but we are not branching out into knowing or getting to know how it works. We are relying on people. We want to only write, we only want to give the script and not actually venture into how it is done. So that's where we feel a little lacunae, a little, something that we don't know. I think gone are those days where we are dependent on people. Now technology is just at the click of a button, and we need to make ourselves completely savvy in using technology to our advantage. So whether the analysis that you use, like Shika ma'am was saying about quantitative and qualitative, we should learn how to do it.
Yes.
And if you rate our background to mathematical and other scholars, they are far better. And what is it that is stopping us from being like them? I think it is our mindset. So I think we should also learn and use technology to our advantage and see what wonders it can work for us.
Yes, ma'am. If you are using in a right way, it's good.
Yes, it is good. It is good. In fact, everything has pros and cons. We should be able to tap what is right for us, what is good for us. And you see how time also flies, and you see how time comes into our own framework, and it'll help you a lot instead of going the long winding way. Yes, any more responses? It's so nice to have a live audience, you talk and you reciprocate. It's so good to know.
Ma'am, someone has actually mentioned something. Sheila, ma'am?
Yeah. In the chat box, is it?
Not, yeah.
Hema Singh said from literature background, ma'am. Somebody said thank you.
I think Immaculate ma'am, I think, mentioned something. I just overheard. I didn't get carefully.
Somebody said something. I don't know. I didn't catch it. Either you can write to me in the chat, or you can talk to me. Anybody. I wish. See, since this is something that is.
The thing is actually nowadays, you see, digital platform. This is really very important because we are getting so many resources. Okay, we are getting actually, encounter all those things, and we can get some kind of benefit also. But people forget the time limits. We can have only the 24 hours. We cannot actually enlarge them. So we are the human beings. We are not machines. We also must be with the timings and all. So maybe for that reason, I think sometimes I have that extremity.
Okay.
In regard to gadgets.
I know. I think we all face this problem. Sometimes we cannot accommodate a lot of things within our own. It's sometimes out of our hands, but then, like I said, we have to work it out to our advantage. So with that, can we call it a day? Any more queries or responses?
I don't have a query, and I'm very happy that all my doubts clarified. And I would like to definitely take this moment to show gratitude and appreciate also, ma'am. Can I take a minute for that?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
I mean, you're looking
I
for my
sincerely
permission.
thank Dr. B. Sheila Rani, madam, our resource person today, and Ramadin sir and Swarna madam for definitely organizing a wonderful session for, to be specific, beginners like us today to begin with the research. And areas like ELT, ma'am, it is very new even for the guides who are trying to guide us. So for that, I'm very, very grateful that your inputs was too good, ma'am. And I want the organizers to be very focused in taking or guiding us in a best way for the future of the area of research in ELT, ma'am. So thank you so much for all of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Lakshmi ma'am, for those kind words.
Dhanalakshmi ma'am, thank you so much.
Yes.
So nice of you. Thank you.
Yes.
Rahmuddin sir, please wind up the
Yes,
session.
madam. Okay. Thank you, madam. Thank you, Dr. B. Sheila, madam, for a deeply engaging, insightful session on the topic, how to select a good research topic and formulate research questions. Madam, you explained with much clarity what is a good research topic and the 4 things that a good research topic must have. And your advice to the research scholars to go through abstract of PhD thesis to find the gaps in that research. Use Wikipedia, talk about it to the people, which will also help us to discover new dimensions and new ideas, and we will be able to find things that are missing in our work. Your advice to scholars to attend seminars, workshops, and conferences, which are really very useful for the researchers. Thank you, madam, for your valuable time. Your inputs have enriched our understanding. I also thank you for the interaction with the scholars and clarifying their doubts very clearly. I have made the session very useful for all of us. I also express my profound thanks to all the esteemed scholars participated in this session. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. It's an honor. Thank you so much. Have a nice